Hey everyone! It is once again Zed here to talk about Elite Adventures, or EA. Elite Adventures are an Alliance group event that pits players against NPC opponents. There are 20 different adventures that you can choose from. However, each new adventure must be unlocked by beating that previous adventure before you can play it. In order to join, players must be members of the Alliance for at least 7 days. The Alliance can participate in an Elite adventure once per week, but it must be started by either the R5 or an R4. They can't be held on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, or at the same time as an Elite War, which is an entirely different event that we can talk about some other time. The event occurs on special maps that are played in real time, meaning that all players that are participating must be online at the same time for the event. Every level has a 45-minute time limit to complete it. If you win one of the Elite Adventures, then you will be rewarded based on your individual contribution. If you lose, you will still get some consolation rewards just for participating. Rewards include resources, material chests, speed-ups, alliance points, and alliance honor, and my favorite prize of all, wish cards. You will also receive merit points based on your score. Now, merit points will determine your lord's military rank, and each rank will grant you different permanent buffs. So by joining EA as often as you can, it will help you raise your military rank, and it can really help you out a lot. Before the Alliance embarks on an Elite adventure, one person should be appointed as the event leader. This person is going to be responsible for calling out which castles players should attack and when. It's incredibly important that all players try to time their attacks to land at the same time, so the event leader is responsible for giving the attack cue for this timing. The event leader should also decide which players will be on the attacking team, which will be moving across the map taking castles on their way to the opponent's base. If there are any buff castles in that level, players should also be selected who will hold these castles so that all of the players can receive those buffs. The rest of the players will remain back at the Alliance base to help defend it. This is a crucial role since if the Alliance base gets captured by the opponent, then the Alliance loses the adventure. It's also important to note that any combat buff items that players activate during the battle will not take effect. Buffs must be activated before the beginning of the adventure, and you'll want to make sure that you have all of your troops in your castle and healed before it starts. Any troops that are out and about or in your hospital can't be used in the event. Once the adventure starts, you'll see a notification in the Alliance screen. Just click on it to join. Players will all start in the event in a base castle. You will need to click to join the war, confirm that you're ready to join, then choose which troops you'll be dispatching to the Alliance base. You'll have the same army size limit as you do for the rest of the game. The event map has its own chat window that is completely separate from the standard Alliance chat. All non-event related chat should be stopped so that people can easily see and follow the attack cues given by the event leader. The leader can call out the next target by castle number, then they'll go ahead and give a ready alert to get the attack team's attention, followed by a set alert. A few seconds later, the leader should give the go so that the attack team can launch their attack at the intended target. To attack a castle, just click on it, then click on the attack option. As I mentioned earlier, you want to try to time your attacks as closely together as you can to the rest of the attacking party. The same principles of timed attacks in the rest of the game work in this event too. If you arrive within 5 seconds of the first player who gets there, then your armies will fight together. If someone gets there too early, then they may end up fighting the battle alone and losing. If you find yourself lagging behind the rest of the attack party, you can always use the march speed up just like you can during a regular timed attack. Meanwhile, NPC enemies from the surrounding castles will be attempting to attack and defeat the castles that your alliance occupies, as well as your alliance base. You can easily view where the enemy marches are located by clicking on the map icon on the right side of the screen. This will open up a layout of the map and show where enemy troops currently are located. Any of the castles that are occupied by the opponent will be shown in red and show a count of the number of enemy marches currently stationed there. It will also show you any enemies that are actively on the move. It's wise to check the screen frequently to see if any enemies are marching towards your Alliance base. If the Alliance base is inadequately guarded and there are enemies marching towards it, players can retreat to the base to protect it. As you continue to battle, your troops will become wounded or killed, though all soldiers that are lost will be restored after the event is complete. You can replenish your marching army with idle troops from your Alliance-based castle. However, you can't refill your army while they are stationed at another castle. You're going to have to return to the Alliance base to refill them. This should only be done if your army loses too many troops to continue fighting. It's important to keep an eye on your current army size and replenish troops as needed. If you allow your marching army to become too depleted, then you'll start losing battles. Also, if all of the troops in your march are defeated, you will be sent all the way back to the Alliance base and will need to heal your wounded troops and refill your march before you can begin moving back to where the rest of the Alliance is located. Also, be on the lookout for those buff castles. There are several different kinds of buff castles that you can encounter in different levels. If your Alliance is able to conquer and hold one, then every member in the event will receive a combat buff. But the buff will be deactivated if you don't have any players actively stationed at the castle, so it's best to leave a couple of players back to hold it in case the enemy tries to attack. Then they'll have a better chance of defending than just a single player. The adventure will end when either you or your opponent conquers the other's base castle. After the event is over, be sure to check your mail for your rewards.